Hey everyone, thanks for jumping into today's Twitter Spaces. I'm Nadia Bajuelo, Community Events Manager here at Overclock Labs. I hope everyone here is having a great morning or afternoon or evening, wherever it is that you're joining us from. Before we jump into the spaces, I did really want to thank you guys, the amazing Akash community. After last week's spaces with Greg and Alani, you guys went out, you deployed on Akash. We had some new providers come in from last week's spaces, and some of you even jumped online and DM'd Alani, including some of the people that participated in the AMA at the end of the call. You've also started to get questions in for the AMA with Greg on Telegram. So thanks so much, everyone. This is what community is about. This is how we build through the bear together. So today we're going to be talking about the latest updates on what's going on here at Akash, including who's the latest to be spinning up nodes on Akash. Greg will also jump into some of the latest Cosmos news. We'll hear Greg's thoughts on some of the biggest industry events across the board. And we'll be chatting with Praetor, our guest today, about their journey becoming an Akash validator and that experience so far. Also, their journey participating in proposals and their tips for others as they also participate. Praetor's future plans to grow in the Akash and Cosmos ecosystems. And we learned about the Akash Accelerator last week with Greg and Alani. So today we'll hear what Praetor's experience with Akash Accelerator has been like and how it's benefited them. And maybe we'll even find out if they have anything in the works that the industry should look forward to. And as always, guys, we'll wrap things up with AMA time with Greg. Be sure to stay after that and find out how to get in on a 300 AKT prize pool. With that, I would love to introduce today's special guest before kicking it off to Greg. Praetor App is a Web3 and blockchain application development group focused on decentralized applications that further the evolution of the internet. They also continue to add great value to the Akash ecosystem and the greater Cosmos ecosystems. For example, they improve the Akash provider onboarding experience, reducing onboarding time by 83%, which you guys, that means you can become an Akash provider in 20 minutes or less. They're also an Akash validator and part of the Akash Accelerator, which we can't wait to hear more about. Joining us from Praetor today is Jigar Patel, founder and CEO of Praetor. In previous years, he headed a software development company called Arc10 Technologies, and he's also worked as a software architect in both public and private sector companies. Welcome, Jigar. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here, and thank you so much for the intro.
Yeah, no problem. We're super pumped to have you here with us today. So also with us, guys, is the man of the hour and CEO of Overclock Labs, Greg Osuri. You guys know Greg, so I will hand it right off to him. Take it away, Greg.
Thank you so much, Nadia. It's been a great week, as usual, at Akash. So we have some updates across the board from the Akash ecosystem as well as the ecosystem beyond. A few things happened. And, a lot of updates really come from like who's using Akash and how people are using Akash. One of the big things that we realized that Paloma is a new chain, a Cosmos SDK based messenger chain. It's used to send messages across blockchains, a very innovative chain. And 7% of the validator nodes are currently running Akash. I mean, it's still in testnet, but that's a testament as to how Akash penetration is happening. And we were, we predicted that in a bear market, the costs are going to be an issue, especially for validators trying to stay afloat. And Akash providing a cost-efficient solution that's decentralized and self-sovereign is a very attractive value proposition for a lot of the validators. So really excited to see a majority penetration in a blockchain for the first time by a decentralized cloud. And someone like Paloma, which is a pioneer and solving amazing problems using Akash, is a great testament to the technology. That we saw Masari, a very prominent and respectable publication, talking about how Akash is a viable option for ETH miners post-merge. As we all know, post-merge, when ETH moves from proof of work to proof of stake, there's going to be an enormous amount of GPU capacity that will be unutilized. So the current options are very limited. And Akash, when we have GPUs, which we will have very soon, I've been hearing really good things about our progress in GPUs. Can't wait to show you a demo very soon. But the fact that we will be able to leverage GPUs on Akash very soon, it's a great way for ETH miners to earn additional income on their existing capital that they've invested. So, the outcome is much significantly lower cost for people that want to use GPUs, right? So currently GPUs are very expensive on the cloud. We predict Akash GPUs will be anywhere from 20 to 50% lower than what the market offers. That's an enormous cost savings for highly, compute-intensive applications. And we're really looking forward to having GPUs on Akash and the ETH merge to happen. Cloudflare recently had a major outage that took down almost the entire ecosystem, crypto ecosystem, which is kind of, not alarming, but something that we have to be ashamed of as an ecosystem. The fact that, the whole purpose of building decentralized infrastructure is to build a reliable infrastructure, right? So the fact that a lot of our dApps and our nodes and our entire infrastructure depends on Web 2 is not acceptable in my book. And Cloudflare outage clearly showed that our decentralized infrastructure is very, very reliant on Web 2, and that needs to change. Now, Akash and several other protocols are getting there, but we need to get there faster. So these outages are a kind of reminder as to we have a lot of work to do, and we have to do it quicker. Then, one of my research, I discovered that, we always had this notion that a lot of the nodes a lot of the Ethereum were running on Amazon, but there hasn't been exact real-time data till ethernodes, ethernodes.org, that basically does a real-time analysis as to where the nodes are running. In the latest numbers are somewhere around over 40% of Ethereum nodes currently run on Amazon alone, and over 54% of the nodes are running on the big cloud, right? So that exposes a vulnerability that we have across systemically, and that makes you ask real questions: is Ethereum really as decentralized as it claims to be? When one company has over 40% of the node hash power, network processing power, right? I think it's also worthwhile to do another analysis as to how much, if you're thinking about 40% of Ethereum nodes, I think each node costs about $1,000 per month to run on Amazon, right? I think it'd be a good analysis to really understand how much of miner value is being extracted, and I think there's a good piece there where we can write about how compare that to Akash and where the whole notion of not having a middleman, but actually we're having middlemen in crypto, and that middleman happens to be Amazon, right? So I think there's a piece there that we need to research and write about. But overall, it just exposes how vulnerable we are to outages and whatnot. And we had several examples. George Soros, deployed Shutterstock proxies and has been running on Akash for over 6 months, and they hadn't had a single issue. That just shows you how resilient Akash infrastructure is. I personally have been running my personal blog for over a year, GregOsuri.com, Akash, and I haven't had a single issue, right? Well, you have outages that are Cloudflare, and I think Amazon has about 17 outages in this last year alone. It really shows you the power and the resiliency of a decentralized system like Akash. And we have some participation from a lot of our validators. Vault Staking recently published a series of articles, helping people to simply deploy an Akash. If you want to go check them out, give them a review. Let us know what you think about their articles. Happy to work with them to make it much simpler if you feel like they need more simplicity. Vixelo, another new validator running on Akash, is often technical assistance for anyone that's willing to migrate to Akash. Now, validators are the cornerstone of Akash, and they are the foundation for our community. Seeing such participation from validators makes me extremely happy. I would also consider my delegations, for validators are actually actively participating in helping the community grow and adopt Akash. So I'm really happy about them. Now, other news, our ecosystem, we have our Strangeclan, which is which we all know is powered by Akash. It's one of the first NFT-based game running on Akash. Announced their mint for Town 2. I believe it's coming up very soon. Check out the dates that we posted on our Twitter account. And our partners, Solana announced a mobile phone, which is actually very interesting the more I think about it, right? So why it's very interesting is once we have a deeper integration into Solana, into Akash, we can look at composability, right? So Solana being an extremely fast blockchain, can and really build for mobile, right? I mean, the founder Anatoly has been a good friend of mine for a long time. I met Anatoly in early 2018, and his background has been writing distributed systems in mobile phones, right? I think he wrote half the kernel for the flip phone, if you remember that one. So him, focusing on really building a mobile phone, I think he's a perfect guy to deliver a crypto mobile phone with the experience he has writing kernels. And one of the things about mobile phones are they're lightweight devices. They can do heavy computations, right? So a use case for Akash there would be a lightweight processing on the mobile phone and heavyweight processing on Akash on a decentralized cloud. So you can see how the mobile operating system can work in tandem with the cloud operating system in a decentralized way, in a highly composable way, without the user even knowing about it. Such use cases could be like games, for example, right? So games, you want to have high-end graphics, and mobiles cannot deliver high-end graphics. In a scenario like that, you can have the high-end graphic processing done on the cloud on Akash and deliver that directly to the mobile phone. And then we can potentially even think about using Helium with the 5G network they have coming up. Basically, so you can see a future where Akash, Helium, and Solana are working in tandem and to deliver the user experience on a mobile device that has never been done before. So these are the kind of use cases that really attract me. Protocols working with each other, doing what they're good at, doing while the user eventually benefits, right? So I'm going to tweet out a scenario where this is a possibility, and for this to happen, we need to have IBC enabled on Helium and Solana, and we have it, right? So you can see in a year's time all these protocols delivering these amazing use cases that haven't been thought about before. So I'm particularly very excited for Solana Mobile, actually. So moving on, there we have what other news we have? I believe Storj, and there are rumors Storj is being in. Now, these are rumors. I don't know how much they're true, but rumors that Storj is having a partnership with Google. I would believe them because Storj has been traditionally very enterprise focused. If you look at their CEO, he's a former CEO of Docker. So, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they were, they would have a partnership with Google. So, but again, these are rumors. I don't know how far they're true. Check them out. And just in general, my thoughts about scalability. I tweeted out saying that the current crash, the 2019 recovery, right, was really largely if you look at the past dip, we had the peak around 2018 January, and then we had the bottom at the end of 2018. around December 2018. So it's been a 12-month consistent depression of the prices for crypto. So and then we saw the 2019 recovery, and in 2019, if you remember, most of the recovery was because of DeFi, when DeFi floating around with product market fit. And I think we're going to see a similar pattern in 2022 and 2023. I think we're going to see a year-long depression of prices, and then it's going to be a upturn, and I think that will be rooted in real growth, right? So last time it was about product market fit. This time it's going to be about growth and people using real products and user experiences. And for growth to happen, you need solid user experience. And we all know Ethereum and none of the actual shared state chains can deliver that level of user experience. That's why I'm extremely bullish on Cosmos model, the sovereign model, where where you can deliver the kind of user experience the growth stage companies or growth stage networks demand. And that's why I'm extremely bullish on Cosmos being the center stage of this new recovery. So, I talked about it and been quoted in several publications and whatnot. So it's very, very exciting and really amazing to serve this ecosystem. We're hiring quite a lot, and we're increasing our team size by 20%. We have 7 positions open, both from marketing as well as BD as well as product. We're hiring in all key divisions. Marketing, we're looking for a vice president for marketing. This is an executive role. It is a very high level role. So if you know anyone that could fit the bill, now for us, it's very important for this person to have cloud experience as much as we have blockchain experience. The goal of the marketer really is to, improve our adoption, our developer adoption. Not so much on the crypto side of things. I think the crypto side of marketing will whatever we do is rooted in the adoption of Akash Network. So it's important for them to have developer marketing experience. So please don't refer people that are just because you saw them tweet about Akash, they're not eligible to become a VP of marketing. So anyway, just keep that in mind. And another big role that we're hiring for is a senior staff engineer. Staff engineer in the sense, these are, if you have to compare to Google, there will be Google level 6 or level 7 engineers. These are highly skilled engineers. I mean, we're looking at someone similar to our CTO to complement our CTO, right? So it's a very important role for us. If you know anyone that level, just ping me the name. I can go talk to them, even if you're not sure they'll be interested in Akash. But please, I really request the community to help us recruit, because this is the time you need to build, and we're growing our team, and I think if you want to see the GPUs and if you want to see that the marketplace, the services marketplace, now is the time for us to get aggressive with the hiring. So please help us find engineers. With that, I think that wraps up pretty much all the news across our ecosystems. And I'd love to bring on a special guest here to talk about their experience, Praetor here, their experience with being part of the Akash ecosystem, being part of the Akash Accelerator. For those of you that don't know Praetor makes it extremely simple to become a provider on Akash, right? I mean, being a provider on Akash takes several steps. It's very technically challenging. You need to set up a Kubernetes cluster, to configure it right, to install the Akash controllers and whatnot. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but Praetor makes it extremely simple for anyone to become a provider on Akash. And I'd like to bring up here Jigar on stage. And so Jigar, how's it going?
Pretty good. Amazing morning. And like hearing all these things about Akash makes us excited more about being in the core ecosystem and partner with Akash.
Awesome. Where are you calling in from?
From Toronto, actually. It's actually like about like 12 o'clock in the noon, and yeah, pretty good weather as well.
Awesome. So tell us more about your journey with Akash. So how did you begin? How did you find out about Akash? How did you become how did you end up building on Akash? And what's your experience been?
Absolutely. So our journey started with becoming a cloud provider on Akash and leasing out our excess capacity of resources beginning this year. And soon we realized that being a cloud provider on Akash requires command line knowledge, Kubernetes knowledge, and all that, which is time consuming. And user can make a lot of mistakes. Even we did it. Uh, so at that moment, we decided to build a tool where user can become a cloud providing with a simplified UI. And in between, we took part in testnet 3 and mainnet 3 upgrades. We were not active validator set during that upgrade, but our nodes were running there. So we noticed that a lot of our validators were unavailable during the mainnet 3 upgrade, which is very important for this kind of upgrades in the network. Uh, so basically, like because of that, upgrade took almost like 15 hours to complete. We raised concern with the leadership and asked for a delegation from them to be ourselves to in an activated set, so we can take part in these essential improvements in the network.
Awesome. That's exciting. What's exciting about you guys is you were trying to, become a validator or become a provider on Akash, and you found it challenging, and then you wrote tools to make your life simple, and that tools eventually become product, right? This is a classic organic path of success that I normally see with several successful applications, right? People trying to do something and finding it hard to do and writing tools to simply solve the problem and seeing that problem exists for other people and really solving other people's problems, and that's really how it works. I'm really excited to attract such people into Akash. Not just somebody that wakes up and does like, hey, I'm going to do an NFT drop today because it's going to happen because we all can all make money. But instead, hey, I have a problem and I've solved it. I think other people have the same problem, and let's share, let's solve this together. So that's really exciting. These are real builders. And so yeah, so what are your plans to? What do you want to do with Akash in the future and in Cosmos ecosystem in general?
Yeah, so we will release a significant update right after this space. It's ready to go. All the testing is done, where providers will have a simplified process with the percent storage enabled. Right. So if you are a provider and if you have like extra drives, you can use our tools to have your provider up and running with percent storage enabled on it. The release also includes the improvement to dashboard, where providers can change their bid engine prices, update their domain name, and renew their certificate accordingly. And then next release will have even more features. For example, providers can see all the currents and previous leases, look at their projected earnings, and in addition to that, user can add and remove their like server nodes using our web apps. So yeah, so far like we have worked on enriching the application to help the supply side of Akash network, and then our major next step will be towards the consumer side of the network, where we believe we can make it significant improvements, simplifying the end user, regardless whether they are supplier or consumer of the network. So it will give us give the significant burst in the adoption of the Akash. In other hand, it will be suitable for decentralized advocacy. We'll release our detailed roadmap soon to the community.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really, really really cool that you're incorporating persistent storage. For context, we released persistent storage in Akash with mainnet 3, and the feature exists, but it's been challenging for a lot of providers to enable that because it does require a little tinkering, and it's not very straightforward. And Praetor trying to solve that problem with persistent storage, enabling persistent storage for providers on Akash is just going to you're going to see enormous amount of storage capacity increase in Akash. I'm really excited for this. We've been talking about how to solve this problem, and the fact that community is solving this problem is really good to see. And also, so like enabling and disabling node membership, right? So a big problem today is not a problem, but I think like just general pattern we notice is, say you have a data center, you have a bunch of free nodes running on Akash, and now you want to remove them or you want to add more to your cluster. It generally becomes challenging, right? Because you have to go manually do some command line magic and do it. Praetor is going to enable the membership, node membership, using a web UI. That just makes it super simple for operators, for node operators or providers to become, to simplify their operations. So we can see this evolution happening, and very soon, I think Praetor is going to. I have a good feeling that Praetor will become the default way of managing providers on Akash. So really excited to see. So the update you said is coming out after this basis. So highly recommend folks in our community to go check out the new Praetor update and try to become a provider and see what's up, right? Like, it shouldn't be that hard. Awesome. So what else can you tell us? What are you looking forward to in the next, let's say, a year, 2 years, and how are you? What are your plans for a build market? I call it.
Yeah, so like I said in my previous comment, we love to see all kind of projects using Akash for their go-to computational needs in Web3. But the current form of Akash has some limitations. Here's like I give you the example. Like deploying on Akash network requires developers to make their application containerized, right? So unfortunately, like not all the developers know how to make their application compatible with deploying on, let's say, Kubernetes. Mm-hmm. So if we can take that heavy lift on us, and we can like extend the network reach to like broader market share, right? So our company used to help companies containerize their applications, run their workload on Kubernetes, and like scale their application to the new high, right? So we will utilize our expertise and provide like seamless user experience to end user. It's just like one example, but we can do like many more things to ease customer pain in blockchain. We are on it.
Awesome. That's really exciting to hear. It's going to be a really great build market, folks. This is, and also a lot of you folks remember me talking about how Akash we optimize for developers before we optimize for consumers. And the reason for that is because apps like Praetor, Akash Lytics, Sperion, and these developers can look at Akash and build applications on top of it that makes it super simple for end users to use. And that's true decentralization, right? So instead of the core team or the Overclock team that created Akash Network trying to make these decisions on behalf of the community, instead of that, I think having community make those decisions and come up with solutions is the true path for decentralization. I'm really excited for Praetor to take a leadership position in the Akash ecosystem. And thank you so much for you sharing your vision here. Yeah. With that, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Thanks, Greg, for having me here. Yep.
Not a problem. Looking forward to more exciting stuff from Praetor. So moving on, that pretty much concludes our spaces for this week. And if anyone has any questions, this is the time to ask me. All things are open. I mean, I did have a offline question that came asking about the take income and regulatory clarity around it. So just to and people wanted clarity about when it's going to be enabled and how it's going to be enabled. The issue with take income is the fact that well, this is what according to our counsel, and this is an opinion. This is not a fact. So the opinion, from a legal standpoint, people have is that if you're paying out income, it could be considered as a security because the expectation of profit from the token holders. Right? So because token holders are would potentially buy AKT to earn income from take model, that could be considered as a security. Now there's difference of opinion on this. There's different partners' opinion. It's not necessarily true in all cases because in Ethereum, when you have proof of stake validators essentially staking their tokens in expectation of profit from gas fees or from transaction fees is similar to Akash's stake model. And so we're still waiting for SEC to have some regulatory clarity. Recently, as of last week, Gary Gensler, the chairman, really talked about, basically said Bitcoin is the only asset they are comfortable calling a commodity and nothing else, not even Ethereum, maybe due to this fact. So we're still I think we're very close to getting clarity from regulators as to what path we need to take forward. Like if Ethereum is considered a commodity and the commodity is actually paying out, some form of a take income, that's gas fees back to the stakers, that clears path for us. That clears path for Akash to enable. But if SEC says Ethereum is a security, and it can't, the paying of gas fees to its, or like transaction fees back to its token holders is considered security, then we got to look at other creative ways to other alternatives. So it's technically enabling take income is not a challenging effort. I mean, it's really simple math. But regulatorily, there's a lot of concern in enabling it. So so that hope this helps to understand where we stand. And there are other ways we're looking at, and we're not foreign to having such problems. I mean, Akash so far has been very conservative when it comes to our token release or our model. We don't, we haven't advertised that like some other chains that I don't want to name about like returns of profit or anything. We're not a DeFi. We're a compute network. It's very simple model. Compute. People use Akash token to pay for compute. Akash AKT is a utility token, and people are using AKT to save lots of money daily, right? So it's not a speculative DeFi token, or it's not a finance token. We're in the clear when it comes to regulatory scrutiny, but we still like to be very conservative when it comes to such things. So again, the take income Akash revenues are not to a point that's going to matter a lot. So by the time the regulatory clarity comes, I think it'll be okay. Someone raised their hand. I did see that, or no? Cool. Yeah.
All right. So if there are no more questions today, I want to thank Jigar and Greg for joining us on Spaces today, and give you guys all a huge thank you for joining and listening, or listening later. Right now, I need you guys to actually do 3 things for us. First, please show Praetor some love. Follow them on Twitter. Check them out at praetorapp.com. It's praetorapp.com. I'm going to ask Jigar if we showed some love, guys. And then keep this chat going by heading over to Telegram and our Discord channels. And last, go ahead and mark your calendars for next week, Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific for our next Akash Weekly Spaces with Greg. Please tap that set reminder button as soon as we post. We'll send out that post tomorrow. And once again, thank you guys so much for joining today's event. Thank you one more time, Jigar and Greg. Thanks for chatting with us today.